as we call it, the another disastrous uh, realm of things that we've seen in the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, but a more broader scale of just like how crazy things have gotten. A little bit of what we're going to get into right now is basically Trump saying that he is leaning on his, of course, Truth Social, um, to basically say, and just to give you guys a little heads up on this, everything that he says is always crazy, but it's always something that people don't realize take a look at. All right, so basically, I hope Univision, a great and a very popular Hispanic network, can go back onto the very amazing Google YouTube. It has taken out their package, which is bad for Republicans in the upcoming midterms. So it is in this part of this, he's understanding that this midterms may not be good for him, and it might be, you know, where they're going to lose. Um, and he then continues. Uh, there were so many. They were so good to him with his highest rated ever political special, um, and then he set the Republican record. Uh, and here's the thing. Obviously he always has to end everything with President DJT, right? So, uh, and just as a side, uh, basically vote today to address American Matt Epps, who's running in a great state, great people of Tennessee, and basically anybody that Trump endorses. Let's be clear, they all lose because Trump himself is not a good candidate. So we already know that is, obviously you see here, like every time he, he has been, well, he has been, but we can tell. It was just as reported yesterday, um, that obviously a lot of people understand like we're in a government shutdown at this time. So that means more insane. Now I'm going to give you guys another clip, and then we're obviously going to come back and we're going to discuss this. So one of the things that we'll do is we'll go right ahead. Um, let's go into this, um, and let's talk about it. Um, and let's talk about this, right? So obviously, I love BTC, but let's talk about
Creators, stop paying for tools that don't really work.
let's talk about this real quick, okay? So the clip I'm about to show you guys is from BTC, um, and I like Brian Talacone's show, his YouTube channel, which I think is by far is really great, and I do think that we ought to use. Um, I do ought to, I do ought to think that we need to use it. So let's get into some of what BTC is.
For you. With Base 44, you can build your own the way you actually do that.
So let's talk about it. All right. So in this clip, BTC goes into one of the Republican members who is already uh, flipping out of how healthcare is going to, they're already giving away the plot. But
In a completely unexpected move today, Marjorie Taylor Greene just took to Twitter, issuing the following blow to Trump, Mike Johnson, and the rest of the GOP struggling to find their footing as Americans blamed them for the ongoing shutdown. She wrote, quote, "I was not in Congress when all this Obamacare Affordable Care Act bullshit started. I got here in 2021. As a matter of fact, the ACA made health insurance unaffordable for my family after it was passed, with skyrocketing premiums higher than our house payment. Let's just say, as nicely as possible, I'm not a fan, but I'm going to go against everyone on this issue because when the tax credits expire this year, my own adult children's insurance premiums for 2026 are going to double, along with all the wonderful families and hardworking people in my district. No, I'm not towing the party line on this or playing loyalty games. I'm a Republican and won't vote for illegals to have any taxpayer-funded healthcare or benefits. I'm America only. I'm carving my own lane, and I'm absolutely disgusted that health insurance premiums will double if the tax credits expire this year. Also, I think health insurance and all insurance is a scam, just to be clear. Not a single Republican in leadership talked to us about this or has given us a plan to help Americans deal with their health insurance premiums doubling." Now, there are obviously some problematic elements of this, like this mistaken notion that even a dime of ACA subsidies or any federal funding for healthcare goes toward undocumented immigrants. But that notwithstanding, when even Marjorie Taylor Greene is able to read the tea leaves and acknowledge the objective reality about her own party's position, it becomes clear that they are losing the plot. And look, we should all welcome any and all voices who agree with us that healthcare premiums should not double. But the reality is that Greene is simply following the very obvious polling on this issue. According to Kaiser Family Foundation polling, Americans want Congress to extend the expiring Affordable Care Act credits by a staggering 78% to 22% margin. Nearly 8 in 10 Americans side with the Democrats here, and the reason why is beyond simple. If Republicans get their way, the ACA subsidies will expire at the end of this year, and that means
So basically, BTC's got it right? So if Republicans are really wanting this, is solely for the fact that they want things to expire, they want more things to be expensive. But let's just go back for a second, right? So when Donald Trump was running, right, we all know that when Donald Trump was running, that he basically said, "Oh, if you make me the next president of the United States, I'm gonna lower prices." Since he has been in office, he has cared about more than one thing, besides grocery prices, which again he ran on. So again, this is just to the point of where he wants everything to he doesn't want Department of Education. We know he doesn't want um, we know he doesn't want us to have, and it's by his own mouth, is he doesn't want us to have mail-in voting because he thinks it's rigged. He's worrying about every other issue besides fixing things so that American people could, not have to worry about whether eating or healthcare, which I think is just wrong, and I don't think if you want the country to go in a direct direction, I think that is a failed notion of, oh, let's just make it so that people spend more, which, I think by the end of the day, it's just it's an insane way to think. But again, we gotta also remember that he is a businessman, so he's running the country like a business. So he thinks that this is his business and he's gonna run it how he feels necessary. Which again, I totally disagree with. I don't agree with that notion that Donald Trump should run this as a business, because if he runs this as a business, it does not bode well. Um, but let's take a look. Let's hear more from BTC real quick. Um, and I want to give it to you guys this way so that you guys can see uh, just of how uh, things are working. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this real quick, and and I want to take a look. I want you guys to take a look at this, and I want you guys to I want you guys to see how this is going to work. Okay. Um, I want you guys to see, but more from BTC real quick, and here we go.
For the 24 million Americans who get their health care through the ACA marketplace, prices will increase as much as 4 times what they are right now. 4 times more expensive. Senator Warnock has been sharing screen grabs from his constituents showing the difference between 2025 and 2026 prices. One tweet showed, for example, that $307 turns into $964.
So, one of the things I want to get your attention to, which I kind of love. Um, I love how Senator Warnock does this, and he talks to his constituents. I love it when they do this because it's basically his job. His job is to talk to his constituents. So I love how he does this. And he shows like Anthem, for instance, is uh, base value right now is 307, but it could turn into
Another one shows two.
you know, it's going to get more expensive. And 307 turns more 228.
$228 turning into $1,142.
So 2,227 or 228 turning into $1,142.71 is quite expensive. And this is because they want to raise the fact that, like, you know, healthcare, as much as Republicans don't agree with healthcare and that is a scam and everything else. Take a look at these numbers, okay? If you look at it by health companies, I don't know why we have to always teach these Republicans how to do shit. Excuse my French, but it's baffling that these Republicans do this. These Republicans do this because they feel that it makes total sense. Which, to me, I feel more like if you want it to make it make sense, like I said, there's a lot of ways to look at this without having to screw up the American people. And you guys run on the fact that you guys don't want to hurt the American people, but you guys are technically doing so. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where I am on that.
So unless your entire identity is just blindly supporting Trump's every whim or just trafficking in straight chaos, I cannot imagine who is out there rooting for healthcare prices to go through the roof. What's even more striking, though, is that Green's comments come as Mike Johnson, acting per usual as a puppet for Dear Leader, came out and said this.
So they created a red herring.
So, I'm going to give you guys something that I think that people need to understand, right? So, I think that when they say, or when, Speaker Johnson comes out, like, I don't like the guy, because this guy thinks that, supporting Trump's every move is, it makes sense, right? And the reason why it infuriates me when every time he talks, he literally talks about he literally, and this is where I get frustrated, okay? So he talks about basically making it very expensive, like, that Republicans actually give a damn about their, the Republicans care about healthcare. You just cut healthcare to millions of Americans. Where in God's name do you see that makes sense? Which, again, like, my whole issue with that is just why. I give you two reasons why. Because people don't seem to understand that, Republicans don't care. Like, Republicans really just don't care. And Republicans do what they want to do. And and I want to give this clearance, right? And I want to give y'all some clarity on this BBB, right? Now they keep, right? So let's take a look. So I'm gonna take a look. Let's take a look at the big beautiful bill, right? So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the big beautiful bill that they keep running to. And this is what Republicans keep running to. Republicans are always going to keep running to something, and when they keep running to something, it is always terrible that they run to this. So the one thing that they keep running to, which I have a problem with, right, is the big beautiful bill. Uh, it's 100. First of all, it's 100 provisions for whatever reason. God knows why. I don't know why you couldn't just keep it short and sweet, but y'all want to make it expensive. They want to make it a lot of words for no reason. Just say that you're cutting health care, making tax cuts for the wealthy, and just cutting funding to all things that American people need. That just say that. You don't need all these words to basically say, oh well, we're just gonna do all these things and give us word salad. But one of the provisions here is it permanently extends the individual tax rate. Trump signed into law in 2017, which set to expire at the end of this year. It raises the cap on state and local tax deductions to 40,000 for taxpayer making less than 500,000, with the cap reverting to 10,000 after 5 years. So basically, you give a tax cut to the wealthy, right? So this is basically his wealthy donors and corporations. They get a tax cut of they get a lesser tax cut, so they get a more tax cut from what they already received in 2017. It's supposed to end at the end of this year. Congress basically extended that while also cutting Medicaid, SNAP, food stamps, and everything else. So at the end of the day, I don't know where they get off thinking that it makes sense. Because at the end, it doesn't make no sense. I think that's a wrong way to look at things. And I want to take you to another thing that I think that really underscores uh, what I think that people don't really understand. And usually this is what we take. Um, it raises. Okay, this is another one right here. It raises the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. So the debt ceiling is already raised. It was already raised under Trump, right? We tried to lower the debt ceiling in 4 years ago, and they're trying to raise the debt ceiling again to $5 trillion, and 12% cut to Medicaid funding. So this is where the Medicaid cuts are going to come. So it's 12% of cuts. So whatever you normally receive in Medicaid, that's going to be significantly lower. And then here we go to expands work requirements for SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps, and makes states responsible for some of the costs relating to food assistance programs. I don't agree with that. I think that is just a wrong assessment. I think that if you're really going to do that, it's going to hurt people, and it's going to make sure that people go hungry, because who is going to want to work for benefits that the state and the federal government is supposed to provide to you? I don't think that makes any sense, right? And again, the budget deficit will increase by $2.8 trillion by 2034, and cause $10.9 million, or I'm sorry, 10.9 million Americans to lose health care. And then furthermore, the CBO, which is that Congressional Budget Office that we love so much, basically said that it, the highest 10% of earners would see incomes of 2.7, rise by 2.7, mainly due to the tax cuts. The lowest 10% would see fall by 3.1%, mainly due to the cuts to programs such as Medicaid and food aid. So let's break this down, right? So the big beautiful bill, basically, this is where I think that Donald Trump has lost. I think that it is morally incorrect of how Donald Trump is. But again, that is just how I feel it. So let's take a look at something else. Let's take a look at something local. You know how we like to do this on the show. We like to look at and hold on a second. All right, so let's take a look. So now, what I'm going to do right quick is we're going to take a look. So yeah, so that is our news for politics at the moment. We're gonna take a look real quick. Hold on 1 second. All right, so let's talk about Eric Adams dropping out of his race.
Were you recently injured in a car accident? Look at this check for $160,000. If you're looking to get money,
his mother, this video was released at 1 p.m. announcing that he's dropping out of the...
So let's take a look.
Welcome back, everybody, to Fox News Live. Big breaking news out of the Big Apple today. Eric Adams dropping out of the New York City mayoral race. He's released a video confirming his campaign is ending, and obviously we're going to work on getting that for you. In that video, Adams goes on to... Welcome back, everybody, to Fox News Live. Big breaking news out of the Big Apple today. Eric Adams dropped...
So
he did do the right thing, I believe. He
Here we go.
does believe Mamdani is an existential threat to New York City.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Why?
I do. Because this is not a position that someone should be, that should be somebody's first job, Marcia. Any given morning, as mayor of New York, you can wake up, God forbid, to a terrorist attack, a hurricane, COVID, and there is no time to learn on the job. He did do the right thing, I believe. He does believe Mamdani is an existential threat to New York City.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Why?
I do.
that was a little snippet from Governor Cuomo, but that's...
We have the video message. Let's go to that right now from Mayor Adams.
We've achieved. I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. I hope that over time, New Yorkers will see this city thrive under our leadership, and the policies we put in place should be continued and expanded.
So now, I'm just gonna touch about something real quick. So I want to take everybody back to something real quick. He said that it thrived under his administration. No, you basically cut funding to libraries, which a lot of people took. You cut funding to libraries. That was number one. Number two, you thought it was a good idea to do a lot of things where it made sense to you. And you ran the city like you were running a precinct. You were no longer a captain. You ran it more like it was basically you ran the city more like a police precinct, with rampaging police doing God knows whatever. And then on top of that, the opening the ICE office that was formerly closed since Bill de Blasio. And this was closed because we didn't want ICE rampaging around our city. Obviously, when you talk to Trump, obviously we reopened that office, which I do feel is what also caused a lot of people to not want to vote for you for Democrat. And I think that's why a lot of Democrats in the city are realizing that you are more of a puppet for Trump than you are worrying about the working immigrants in the city. Now, I do on the immigration front. Now, I do say that yes, I do agree with the assessment that yeah, anybody who commits a crime or is a violent, criminal coming to this country, I do think that there needs to be something done about that. Now, anybody who's just coming here to just get a better life, I think should be allowed in general to be here. So that's literally where I think that I feel like that is something that we need to, I think that's something we need to basically look at, and I think that a lot of things have gone wrong in this city, right? So a lot of things have gone wrong in the city, and we've seen countless times that this city has gone from bad to worse. And more broadly, the federal government has gone from worse. It has gone bad to worse. And we see and we see that it's an issue for a lot of people. And the federal government, what they need to do is they really need to take a look at one, how can we make the American people trust us? And if the Republican Party wants to keep their majority in 2026, they need to basically get off their high horses, and they need to basically explain that they need to really get a grip, and they need to stop cutting stuff from American people, because as it stands, it doesn't stand well, and like I said, it is something that we need to look at. So that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna say thank you for joining us on this wonderful Tuesday morning. And again, stay tuned. We will have a lot more to discuss. And like I said, it's always fun to be here on the show with you guys. And we do love you guys. We do love being here. And like I said, it is always fun to be here. But I do want to say that it is great. So, without further ado, thank you. Thank you guys for being here, and we do appreciate you guys. We do appreciate people tuning into the show. When we first started the show, but we do thank you guys for joining the show today. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day.
Powered by Riverside.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Powered by Riverside.